What is up, everybody? Yeah, figure I'd take and do an impromptu live stream. Oh my god, let me fix this green screen. This thing looks like absolute trash. RD, what is up, buddy? Hope you're having a good one today. Oh man, I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that. Well, good. Hopefully, it's nothing bad for the doctor's appointment, man. Prayers to you, buddy. And let me work on this green screen real quick. This looks awful. Eh, eh. That's not no better. I need to improve this just a wee little bit. All right. So, anyways, I hope everybody's having a good day today. What's up, Fixie? Hopefully, you're having a good one as well. I don't know. I just figured I'd come in here and shoot the shit a little bit. I ain't really got nothing planned today. I've got a couple of videos that I'm recording on. I'm not going to take and probably have a, there's not going to be a EV video put out today or any kind of tech video put out today. I'm actually working on some stuff at the moment for that. What I am going to put out is a top 5 of top 5s video as far as YouTube is concerned. My favorite things to watch completely on YouTube. It's going to take and cover tech, EV type stuff, beer reviews, reactions, just my favorite stuff when I'm not taking and actually doing any kind of research or anything of that nature. Stuff I enjoy watching personally on YouTube. Cheers, man. No, thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you're having a good day, man. For real. Now, I don't know if anybody's paying attention to anything that's going on out there. I try as much as possible not to pay attention to anything that I don't have to, but sometimes it's hard, especially if you like being on Twitter as much as I do. And I love taking and getting on Twitter, just taking, number one, I like reading the different people whose stuff I follow, take and see what they got to say about what's going on, or see what they've got to say about stuff. Man, my camera looks, I don't know. I take and work on this green screen and everything else. But anyways, and so one of the things on Twitter that I do enjoy is the trending, because you never know what's going to be trending. Like, it changes every hour, 2 hours. You got stuff that moves to the top and bottom of the list. One of the things trending right now, Joe Rogan. Apparently, Joe Rogan has made a couple of people unhappy. He said he's going to be voting for Bernie Sanders, and I guess after the smear article that come out the other day from the Daily Guardian or whatever it's called, the newspaper periodical that that Chelsea Clinton sits on, come out talking about Bernie Sanders equated workers' woes in Vermont to slavery. Now, he was talking about wage slavery is what he's talking about. And this was back in the 70s whenever they had to dig this crap up, man. They went back 30 years on the man to take and find something. They took it completely out of context. He's talking about essentially wage slavery and basically how the piss poor wages basically keeps people in servitude, because they have to rely on the government for things. They're completely underserved and underpaid. And this is stuff that Fred Hampton, Thomas Douglas, or Frederick Douglass, Martin Luther King, and many other even economists have spoken on. So Bernie Sanders did that snafu, and then on top of that, Joe Rogan stated that he was going to be voting for Bernie. Now he's catching flack. It's crazy the way this stuff works out. And real quick, I'm going to bring up, let's see, share screen. Ha, ha, ha. Joe Rogan. And we'll listen to it real quick. Which, let me make sure this actually is going to, let's see, share screen, share audio. There we go. That's what I didn't do.
I think I'll probably vote for Bernie. Him as a human being, when I was hanging out with him, and yeah. I believe in him. I like him. I like him a lot. What Bernie stands for is a guy who, well, look, you could dig up dirt on every single human being that's,
and he's not lying about that. You really can.
Ever existed. If you catch them in their worst moment and you magnify those moments and you cut out everything else and you only display those worst moments.
And they didn't even do that with Bernie. Is the thing about it. They didn't do that at all with Bernie. They just took something that he said that's specific to the wages at the time in the 70s in Vermont, and they're trying to take and conflate that into something that it's not. But now that he's took and come out and said that he's going to be voting for Bernie, well, Katie barred the door. Yeah, it's not. He's not cool no more, apparently. So, what's up, Justin? I have to take and after I get off of here, I have to take and get the in-laws either car or truck and ride over there and hang out with you for a bit. Um, actually, I've got to take and go. I don't know if I'll tell you what. I need to see if I got to get any groceries or anything like that before the kids get home. Because if I've got to take and make any errands Monday for sure, I'd love to take and hang out with you. Because we need to take and hang out for damn sure. I've got my little camera, so we can take and do the radio stuff. I think that'd make for some great content. Not only that, taking just a fucking hang out, dude, because it's been forever. Yes, they are. That's the thing about it that gets me. Like, you've got all these people. You're trying to beat Donald Trump. Y'all gonna keep they're gonna keep on, and they completely gonna defeat their purpose. There's no two ways about it. They're completely going to defeat the purpose of what they're trying to accomplish because they're just going to eat each other apart, and there ain't going to be anybody, left standing that could actually take them on. But I don't too much care for Bernie either. At least not his policies. But it's funny because Joe Rogan's got a platform and he's trying to take and use it. And he just asked a question and give his answer, and it's like people just going ape shit over it, and it makes absolutely no sense on the reason why they're doing it. It's like, really, he was a darling 2 years ago, 4 years ago, until it would become apparent that the DNC wasn't going to let Hillary win or let Bernie win. It was going to be Hillary. Hey, babe, hope you're having a good day at work. Hopefully they ain't driving you too crazy today. Yeah, I know. See, that's the thing about it, that, and that's the thing that he did take and frustrate a lot of his fans. He lost a lot of people over that. A lot of them are taking and supporting Andrew Yang this go around instead of Bernie Sanders. Yes, sir. Miss seeing you too. Definitely. See, I agree with that. I've got a couple of people that I have I used to have regular civilized disagreements with, not only on politics, but on science and religion and things of that nature. And it's, it's funny that nowadays is everything's either cut and dry, and you either have to believe this way or it's no way, and they don't want nothing to do with you. We've got to get back to where we got the free flow of ideas, regardless if you disagree with the idea that the person has. That's the only way you have a civilized society, because otherwise it's infighting, and that just leads to downfall. That's very true. Oh, we got a bag full of yarn. Another one? They got at least colors that you can use this go around? Well, that's all good. We'll take and even if it's just us hanging out, there's no content. Fuck it. I'm all good for it, buddy. Blake, I'd vote for you, cuz. Like, for real. Ramathorn, I don't even know who either one of those people are. I've just taken and checked them out. Corporate fascists of industry, insurance industry, Biden, Clinton's, Epstein. Most Americans agree on most topics. You're right about that. Most Americans do agree on most topics in some fashion or form, but the media, there's a portion of society who takes what the media and the politicians say, and they just either you're racist or you're thisophobe or thatophobe, and there's all this fucking identity politics and labeling people, furthering that divide. It's honestly just crazy. Yep, completely correct. Watch Super Trooper. Okay, yeah, okay. See, I'm gonna be honest. I've never watched Well, I've watched Super Troopers, but it's been years. So I need to take and rewatch it. I need to watch the sequel too. So one of the other things, I don't know if y'all noticed, but one of the other things that's been going on is that coronavirus that's over there in China. Now, China's taken and shut down 2 cities with pretty decent sized populations, multi-million people in both cities. And the World Health Organization says it's too early to declare the coronavirus outbreak as a global health emergency. And the thing about it is, there's been a lot of people that have been affected, but they've only had 6 deaths. And in a country with over 1 billion, you've had 6 die. Now it's concerning because it's had SARS and bird flu and MERS and all kinds of stuff like that that's happened over there in China and different Asian countries, and it's had a wider spread effect. But this go around, so far, there's the World Health Organization is like, all right, pump your brakes on stuff. It's not that serious. So no, I have not yet. I know he did it because he called it genius. I did catch that. Open band night. See, it'd be cool if somebody did that as a president, like for real. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yet they've quarantined 2 cities. Both one of them with like 6 million citizens in it. The other one with like 11 or 12 million citizens. So they've got basically 20 million citizens are holding hostage until they figure out what the hell's going on with this virus. Now, the first go around, it happened because of bats, and the second thing, it happened because of something else. This go around, they think it's happened due to it originated from snakes, like the hood cobra or the crate, the Chinese crate or crit. So, one large cola hold a spit. Yeah, it is here already. I know there's been a couple of people that have come down with it, but it really hadn't been that big of an issue like it was over there. Well, see, one of the things right now that they're talking about is, or that people are trying to make the connection to, is the fact that over there in China they've got multiple, basically like we got the CDC and the CDC has offshoot branches where they take and have the most. How do you put it? They've got the most dangerous type viruses and stuff like that. Well, the Chinese government has multiple labs like that over there, and they're thinking something got out. So, hell no, they don't. Hell no, they don't. And they're trying to take and spin everything that's happening over in Hong Kong as just a bunch of that's people. That's the thing. You don't hear anything about Hong Kong no more, but there's still protests and stuff like that going on over in Hong Kong because the representative of Hong Kong basically tried to push through a bill that would take away their autonomy. They're still under the Chinese government, but they got a level of autonomy until like 2034, and they're trying to take and keep that. That's one thing you're not going to take and hear in the news. It's not just a bunch of troublemakers in Hong Kong at all. They're trying to take and hold on to what rights they do have. So, yeah, very much so. Well, see, it's very similar to the bird flu because, like, the bird flu started with bats and stuff like that. So, and like the market that they think the Wahoo market that the coronavirus started from is the bird flu started from something similar because, like I said, it happened with bats, and there's bats that take and hang around around the markets, and this time it's the snakes that are trying to take and get to the rats that are around the market, and they think that's how it spread. That's just wrong, but he's not. I don't think he's all that. I don't think he's that far off the mark, though. To be honest with you, I know they eat all kind of stuff. Like they eat rat and stuff like that over there. I mean, that's part of the culture, and I'm sure rat tastes lovely once you boil it down pretty good. But I don't know. I've never tried it. Let's see. Did not know that. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and they're trying to maintain that as much as possible. But the bill they were trying to get passed through until all this stuff started happening, it would completely take all that away. So they're trying to hold on to that constitutional thing that they've got over there. They're the only place in China that has it still. Only place over in China with any kind of autonomy, independent of the Chinese government. Well, see, and that's the other thing. That, man, the media these days, they take and overhype everything. Like everything. It doesn't matter if it's like this with sicknesses and stuff like that, the flu every year, or if it's, oh my God, this is going to be the worst hurricane in 400 years. And you get a couple raindrops, you get a little bit of wind and it blows the fuck off the coast. It's going to be the most snow ever. And they get like 6 fucking inches. They've got to stop overhyping the stuff because it causes people to panic. Now it's making the grocery stores and the chain stores a lot of fucking money because people are rushing out. They're buying up all the bread and water and milk because your house blows away. You're not thinking about the fact that you're not going to have that shit anyways. Just saying. Communist political systems in the world. You got North Korea, you got China, you've got Cuba, Vietnam, Cambodia. I don't know if Laos still has that style. I think Laos. And I think that's about it. Although Venezuela is very, very close. Very, very close. So, in which I find it funny. Everybody's talking about, oh, capitalism is evil. Capitalism is evil. Well, it's so evil that the Chinese government had to take and go from owning everything basically to having a form of a capitalist economy and free trade. So that way they didn't take and go fucking bankrupt and have a revolution on their fucking hands. So, and they could actually keep up their military. Yeah, I've seen that. That was hilarious. Because they're looking at him like, what in the hell? Supposedly they have democracy, but we know better than that. I think over in Russia, basically the KGB took power, and some news channel reporting status on what's going on in the world instead of blowing everything. Yeah, I remember that. I remember when that used to happen too. Very much so. Very much so. Completely agree. That is, here's what gets me. You got people that go, oh no, like Stalin and Stalin and China with Mao, and that's not true communism. No, motherfucker, you take a look at the way fucking Frederick Engels and Karl Marx laid stuff out. That's exactly how that shit's supposed to work, man. It's the same system that was tried at the first year at Plymouth Rock before William Bradford became governor. And yeah, it didn't work there either. Half the people starved. They were trying the communal style stuff, and yeah, it just didn't work because they had lazy people who didn't want to fucking do anything. Which I guess that was more socialism, but still, it didn't work. Which socialism, people they'll point to places like Denmark and Sweden and Norway. Look, they got socialism and it works. No, they're not socialist countries at all. They've got a free market. They've got capitalism still. Now, they do have regulated capitalism, but we've got the same fucking thing here. They just take and do better with their social policy. It's the only difference. It's not true socialism. You want to see true socialism? Go look at fucking Venezuela. Yeah, exactly. From the iPhones while wearing their fucking, top dollar Calvin Klein jeans and wearing their fucking Dolce Gabbana fucking glasses and holding their fucking Louis Vuitton purses and shit like that. It's like, do you not see the fucking hypocrisy here? I mean, are you that fucking stupid? That's just, I see stuff like that. And that's my first thought. Like, or I hear people talking about, oh, capitalism is evil. And they've got all the designer stuff and their iPhone. I'm like, you do realize under a fucking communist or a socialist system, you're not going to have the money to take and get this shit. Now, the motherfuckers for whatever party's ruling the country, they're going to be able to take on that stuff, but you're not going to be able to because you're not going to make enough money to take and get that because half your pay goes to everybody else. Or no, over half your pay is going to take and go to the fucking government. What they don't get, they send to everybody else. Like, fucking for real. Jesus Christ. That's crazy. 100-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Where are you at exactly? Because that must have been from that has to be from that storm that happened last week. Because I remember hearing about that. There's places in like Kentucky and stuff like that had over 100-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Yes, very much so. Very much so. See, it's not going to be long with the way things are going in this country. We're at a two-party as it stands. We're at a two-party system, and they're trying to make it to where only one party has power. So, and to be honest, sometimes it's hard to take and distinguish which party is which anymore. Take and listen to them talk. It is a cop-out. Now, I do know in Russia that they do value the family system, things like that a little bit more. What exactly is what form of government do they have since they took and threw off the shackles of communism? And see, yeah, that Project Veritas stuff. That's I'll be honest with you. They could probably go to the Warren campaign, the Elizabeth Warren campaign, and probably hear the same type rhetoric. You hear the Project Veritas, the guys talking about that on the Project Veritas video, and you start thinking about Alex Jones and the FEMA camps and stuff like that, and they're talking about gulags and basically reprogramming camps and stuff like that for Republicans, and it makes you think maybe that fucker wasn't so crazy. Yes, and I can guarantee you they got a back door to take and shut everything down if they want to, as well. So, yeah, exactly. It's what's funny to me is nobody takes a look at as far as when it comes to stuff like that. Socialism works over here, but they don't take and look into the fine details of how the country runs and things of that nature. They don't look at the fact that they still have property ownership over there. They still have, even though it's quite a bit more expensive in a lot of cases, they also have, you can own your own business still over there. Under socialism, there's no real private ownership anymore because it's owned by the people, as they like to say, which the people in the case of socialism and in the case of communism is the government. So, Newfoundland, Canada. Wow. Newfoundland, or I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it, but yeah. Pouring rain. We're supposed to have rain today, so I'm glad it hadn't started yet. Yeah. Exactly. That's the other thing I was going to talk about. That explosion that happened. There's one person missing. There's a building that exploded at in Houston. It's crazy. Hopefully everybody's all right and they find the person that's missing. I know. Look, it can be different than what's portrayed over here. They still have a communist form of fucking government. Simple as that. They're under. That's communism is dictatorship. They got one party that rules everything. That's dictatorship. Now, granted, also since they took and changed their, they've got that abbreviated form basically of capitalism, and they've went to the free market system. A lot more people are making money over there. People are able to take and actually afford stuff for themselves. They have improved stuff. I cannot take that away, but you still have the issue of them taking and putting the Muslims in fucking re-education camps and shit like that. Just and ethnic Muslims at that. So that's still an issue. Granted, everything I have seen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm against communism 110 fucking percent. But you got to be impressed by the way they've taken and made themselves the second largest economy in the world. They've taken and made a lot of multi-billionaires, people that aren't part of the Communist Party, independent business owners and stuff like that, because traditionally under communism, that does not fucking happen. But like I said, they had to actually change stuff so that way they didn't go fucking bankrupt. And this only happened in the last 15 years. So, oh, no doubt, Vanessa. It's crazy. That's the thing that gets me. That's the thing that gets me is, look, I took and made a tweet yesterday on Twitter that I've got to take and stop getting entwined in political debates on Twitter, or basically anywhere else, because to be honest with you, especially here in this country, all politics is bullshit. It really is. Because over here, the media drives everything, and the political parties they further that division. Whoever the powers that be around in this country, they're trying to make sure that everybody is essentially at each other's throats. It's not as bad as they try to make it out to be here in the U.S. racially, economically, and socially, and things like that. But there's people that buy into that fucking narrative. A lot of people. And there's enough people that have such a militant view on what they believe in. And there's been a clear paradigm shift here in the last 20 years. There's a reason why experts are saying we're in the middle of a cold civil war here in the U.S. Like I've said, we're in the middle of an ideological civil war at the moment. Because it's either you completely progressive or, you're considered right wing and everything like that, even though that's not the fucking case. And that's how a lot of people look at it. Jesus Christ, 67 candidates. That is crazy. Now, how many different political parties they have over there in Russia? Well, see, the problem here, Vanessa, is being a republic, even a little person is supposed to take and have a voice, but we've gotten to where we take and let different we've basically created a bunch of protected groups in this country that make up less than 4% of the fucking population that are pushing a lot of the agenda that's happening in this country right now, which their viewpoints are fucking valid, but it can't take and be the driving point behind every fucking decision that's made, whether it be in government, fucking Hollywood, or anything else of that nature. Well, I know Russia is not communist anymore. They are set up. They did set up a democratic system over there. They have elections and things of that nature. Here's what gives me pause when it comes to anything Russia related is Lenin talking about having to take one step back to take two steps forward. Putin is previous KGB. So, things are running, apparently they're running pretty decently over there. They got multi-billionaires over there too. And they don't have bread lines and things like that, being the norm over there anymore. But it just makes you wonder, if maybe the party over there is biding its time or something like that. Because that's not just something that we overthrew it and they're out of our system. And it doesn't work like that with political people like that. It really doesn't. Well, more than likely they'll use the back door to shut everything down. And see, here's the thing: this is what concerns me. This is what concerned me whenever Trump started talking about we're going to take and put tariffs on China. I'm like, they own 10% of our fucking debt, you retard. Number one, they own 10% of our fucking debt. Every one of our fucking electrical components that are in any kind of major thing that we take and use appliance wise or fucking, communications wise, 90% of the fucking chipsets and stuff like that, all that shit comes from China, man. So you don't think they haven't built in a back door somewhere? That's all, they could easily take and be like, okay, kill switch, and everything goes the fuck down because you want to take and start a fucking trade war with the second largest economy on the planet. It's not very intelligent in my book. You can work out trade deals. There's no problem with that. Work out a fucking trade deal. Don't take and do tariffs. Don't take and do tariffs with a second largest fucking economy on the planet. All right. Well, I mean, that's the communist part that just the thing that I take a look at when it comes to communist governments is the fact of at the flip of a hat, at the flip of a switch, if it takes and is what's best for them or what they think is what's best for them, they consolidate everything. They'll take that land away from the landowners, or if somebody speaks out of line, they can take everything away from that landowner. They can completely take control of all industry. There's not a fucking thing anybody can do about it. So that's what always concerns me. Now, like I said, I know they've made improvements. They have because, like I said, billionaires and apparently now people can own private property. They're actually finding jobs for people that, are out on farms and everything like that, which my understanding is they're starting to import more food over there to China than what they produce themselves, which is, there's a lot of folks over there. So that's a lot of food that's got to be grown. Exactly. How many products that are made in China are bought and used there versus what the global companies have made there and sold in the rest of the world? I can promise you that there's probably a shit ton more that is made there and sold in the rest of the world, or probably just as much as what's made and made and sold there, as much as it's made and sold out in the rest of the world. Because you got Samsung, you got Apple, you've got Sony, and these, they're a lot of these, even the Japanese countries, they're getting their chipsets and their electrical components and things of that nature from China. But this is, I'm not pulling as far as the re-education claim and stuff like that. That's not something I pulled off websites. That's stuff I pulled off taking a reading from people that are over there. So they're not doing, it might not be doing it whole scale to everybody that's that's Muslim or Hindi, but it is happening. Like I said, I'm not pulling that off of, because fuck MSNBC and NBC and Fox and all them fuckers, because you're not going to take in, you get more what's going on from folks that live in some of these places. Hashtag Yang Gang. Exactly. He needs more, he's got to have more exposure. Exactly. Prayers for the families. 14 major parties in Russia, but many ran as individuals. See, we need more stuff like that here in the U.S. because we've got that two-party stranglehold, and it's not good. Yeah, that's what we have in a lot of issues around here. That's for damn sure. And when I'm talking about tyranny of minority, I'm not talking about like ethnic groups. I'm talking about like subsets of society type minority. I'm not talking about ethnic groups whatsoever, because there's a lot of shit we've fucked up with that. Oh boy, second case. He's a lawyer, economist, and fucking KGB. Head of KGB. Those two, lawyer and economist, don't mean a fuck stick's worth of shit. It helps them take and run the country. It helps them understand the economy and things of that nature, and how to take and judiciously take and dole out the rules of the land. But again, he's former KGB. I'll be honest with you, Russians, I'm surprised they ever let anybody that was part of the Communist Party ever take and run for office in that country ever again. It's not something I would trust. I don't trust it. Now, like I said, now he seems to be running a tight ship over there. And when I say tight ship, I mean like he's got stuff humming along. So I can't take and hold that against a man. But it's one of those things you look at and it makes you wary a little bit. Oh, always with the humor, Stephen. China. 70% of our appliances that we use on a day-to-day basis come from China. 90% of our luggage comes from China. I think it's like 50% of our clothes come from China. I think even 30% of our food comes from China. So, China. So that's good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that, because I'll be honest with you. I love when people go, yeah, the land of the free. We're not. The Patriot Act took away our fucking freedom. People just haven't fucking realized it yet. Basically, it's it's at the point where, I mean, the Patriot Act, you can say something, they label you a fucking terrorist, and they can throw you in jail and hold you without bail, and that's still on the fucking books. They can still fucking do that shit. So, wow, where the fuck am I even at here on the fucking chat? I've done lost my fucking place. Oh boy, because there's a lot. Okay, BDO. Let's see, non-American. See, what's going on in Virginia is the Democrats hold complete power in that fucking state, and what they're doing is they've basically took and went against one of our constitutional amendment rights, which is keep and bear arms, and they're basically making criminals of law-abiding citizens is what they're doing. You can't take and they've got a very broad definition of what an assault rifle is. It's outlaw. What they've done is basically pass law to take and outlaw most guns that people own, and people aren't taking it lying down, to say the least. Exactly. That right there is going to wind up starting a fucking a war within the state itself if they're not fucking careful. China didn't bring them out of well, China taking a move into the economic system they have now has brought people out of poverty. Before they had 20 million people starved to fucking death. So uh, you can take and polish a turd, but a turd's still a turd. As simple as that. It's still communism. It's a hybrid version, but it can flip at any moment. I'm glad that they're taking and doing right by their citizens at this point, but it's still communism. You can only polish a turd, and it's still a turd. I'm glad for the people there because I'll be honest with you, because that's one of the things. Having a country, even with a communist system, take note of where they have fucked up and try to take and actually improve upon it, improve the citizen's life. I'll never have a problem with that. It's still it's still an authoritarian form of fucking government. Doesn't matter if it's a hybrid version of it or not. Like I said, they can flip the switch because somebody new's in power and they want to take and rule with an iron fist and send it all back careening off the fucking cliff. So I'm happy they've taken and done that, but I don't trust that shit whatsoever. It's still communism. I mean, because they've brought out 800 million out of poverty, but took and starved over fucking 60 million of the goddamn citizens in fucking 40 years, or since fucking Mao took and actually made it a fucking communist country. I guess you got to have a trade-off somewhere, right? Yeah, it's crazy. They're because they're not taking it. They're not really even justifying it. They're justifying it by taking a look at like the shooting that happened in Virginia Beach and at Virginia Tech there in Blacksburg about 8 or so years ago. They're looking at that and justifying it that way without taking a look at the homeowners who take and actually defend the property and stuff like that and have defended the properties using guns. I see. And see that, and the other thing about it is there's a cadre of sheriffs who have said we're not enforcing this shit. We'll take and deputize citizens before we take and enforce it. So, well, I completely agree. Jamie, what is up? Thanks for stopping in. I hope you're having a good day today, homie. Like for real, it's so good to. Like for real, I hope you're having a really good day. Thank you so much for stopping by. And Alex, I hope you're having a good day too, homie. Like for real. It doesn't exist anymore. It did exist. KGB did exist. And it might not exist under the current form of government that they have, but it did exist. And they're still former KGB members. And if you think the fucking Putin doesn't know what the fuck's going on with his intelligence fucking department, it might not be the KGB and they might not be taking people to gulags, but they know what the fuck's going on. That's for sure. Let's see. Yep, you're right about that. Like most of our stuff comes from China. There's no fucking denying that shit. But no, that's funny. I have not seen that. When are you ever going to take and be doing your gaming streams again? Like for real. Those were fun to watch. That's exactly, well, they're not even trying to take and do it through the back door. They're just trying to take and do it and say, fuck you, we don't give a shit. I'm a fun guy. That's funny. I like that. So I don't know. What's up, Juggalo? Hopefully you're having a good day today, homie. He's a politician. They all fucking lie. They all fucking lie. It just depends. Even if you only take and tell a level of truth. you're still telling a lie. So he might be more honest than some politicians. He still fucking lies. Now he does seem to have the right. He does seem to have his citizens' best interest at heart. Can't fault him for that. Can't fault him for that at all. Like I said, it just makes me leery because he's former KGB. I ain't got nothing against the dude whatsoever. He's like I said, he runs a tight ship. Seems to have their best interests at heart. He's still a fucking politician. He's still former KGB. That is what it is. I think they've gotten a little bit more lax on that, though, if I'm not mistaken. Here in the last 20 years, we've got a little bit more lax on that one-child policy. Because I know they preferred boys and stuff like that. There's been plenty of little girls that were dropped off at marketplaces, or even kids that were dropped off at marketplaces to be put in orphanages because the parents already had a child, and they had another child and had to hide the pregnancy and stuff like that. Otherwise, the child had to be aborted. That's awesome, Alex. Glad to hear that, buddy. Oh, it's not. It's not just the Democrats. There's Republicans doing it too. It's like I've said, that fucking, it doesn't matter if it's Democrat or Republican. They're the same side of, they're just different sides of the same coin. You listen to them fuckers speak half the time, and they'll say the same shit. They'll just say it in a different way. They'll say it as a Democrat, and the other one will say it as a fucking Republican. And they just put different window dressing on it is all it is. Oh, I completely understand that. They still are producing. They still have a better birth rate than like Japan. Japan has seen falling birth rates for like the last 15 years because due to the way people work over there and everything like that, that a lot of times it's single moms who've taken. There's a lot of single moms over there because they do hookups and all kinds of stuff, man. So China still, even with their one child policy they had for so long, they still got way more people coming down the line than like Japan. Well, here's what gets me with Russia is they taken due to some of the economic sanctions that are still on them with the U.S. and different countries in the world, they've got to take and sell to places. They sell to places like Iran and some of the different places like that. And that's one of the things about them is, they got some strange bedfellows to say the least. You can go to the White House's website and take a look up speeches and stuff like that. There's just because they take and put every word that's spoken doesn't mean every word's true. And see, that's the other thing. Non-secret meetings. What kind of secret meetings are they having? But I'm not saying anything bad about the country. It's just some of that stuff just kind of makes me a little bit leery just because of the former. I remember taking and seeing the fucking walls fall and shit like that. I've talked to people who took and come out of those governments and stuff like that. So I'm glad that I'm glad that he's taking and doing right by his citizens. It's just, I still, when it comes to communism or anything, former communist countries and stuff like that, you got former party officials taking a run in the country, and it cannot help but harken back to Lenin, one step back for two steps forward. I'm glad, like I said, I have no problem. I'm glad they're taking and doing good. It's just if you don't have reservations about any form of government or about anybody that's in power, that's dangerous because that makes you that'll make you be complicit whenever they do something that they shouldn't be fucking doing. Yes, Vanessa is awesome. Oh, exactly. And see, here's my thing. Like, whenever Romney was running and people were like, we got to defeat Obama, vote Romney, blah, blah, blah. And Obamacare, he's going to take and set up global health care. I was like, have you fuckers not looked at Massachusetts and their fucking healthcare system? It's a healthcare system that Romney set up. And it's the same goddamn model that fucking Obama, the Affordable Health Care Act, is being, his healthcare is going to be labeled and basically almost directly copied from what the fuck Romney did. Like, you fucking brain dead motherfuckers. Yeah, there was a big explosion, buddy. Big one. Yeah, it was. Yeah, one person's missing. I didn't see if there's any injuries or anything like that. Exactly. Well, we're almost. I'll be honest with you. It doesn't matter what party is ruling here in the U.S. or what party is in fucking power. It's the corporations in this country that write the fucking laws. It really is. We live in a corporate, got a form of corporatocracy, a corporate oligarch is what the fuck we have. We're not really a republic. We're not a fucking democracy. We have a corporate oligarchy at the top. You got the corporations writing all the laws, and it's just our representatives and our senators and stuff like that. They're all taking and making money from lobbyists and everything like that. They're all taking and getting they're all doing secret handshakes and back rooms and getting policy passed that fucks over the American people. Our government's fucked, dude. To be honest with you, all 360 million of us need to take and march on Washington, throw them fuckers out, and take and get back to what this country was founded on. Be to take and have a nonviolent revolution or nonviolent overthrow of government like they did in Iceland. Yeah, I've watched quite a few documentaries of girls that were born secretly over there. I've watched quite a few documentaries where the girls that were born secretly and then sent to orphanages and stuff like that, and wound up being adopted out by parents in different countries, where they've actually went back to take and meet their birth parents. So. Well, these days it's almost gotten to be where you got to take and use something other than Google to take and get more information for answers that you're looking towards, because the answers are always skewed in one direction or the other on Google, whereas you can use stuff like DuckDuckGo and things of that nature to take and get a broader scope of things. Trump don't want to become a dictator, and if he did, I mean, Obama could have been a dictator. If he'd have took and proposed legislation to make sure that he could take and presidents could run for unlimited amount of terms, he had the people in Congress and the House of Representatives to do it. So, all right, I'll be right back. I think somebody's pulled up in my yard. Give me 1 second. Yep, FedEx man pulled up. Let's see. Yes. Completely agree. People don't understand that. I took and got into a debate with somebody on the, oh, why are we taking and beholden to an old system? Why, the electoral college, it needs to be done away with. It needs to be popular vote. I'm like, the fucking electoral college makes sure that people like Hillary, whenever she takes and wins a popular vote, but you got a candidate that wins 3 times as many fucking counties across the fucking nation, they don't take and, lose because they didn't win the fucking popularity contest. There's more people spread out across the states. You got 3 times as much. What are you going to do? Take their fucking voice away? There you go. Disillusion half your fucking country. That's smart. That's a good way to take and start a fucking revolution. People don't understand that shit, though. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. That's just what we need. Exactly. People don't understand that. Dude, that's awesome. I'd love to take and visit or take and be able to travel like that. That's pretty fucking awesome, dude. Not even gonna lie. I'm trying to open my package from freaking FedEx. Motherfucker, I'll just take and tear the box open. Y'all get to see a live unboxing. All right. What we got? I got my, all right, I can start vaping and get really good flavor again. This is at-home mod that I've got. Before anybody says anything, but, oh, it's bad for you. People got lung disease and stuff like that from it because they were smoking illegal THC cardos. The government and the media was taking a run a propaganda campaign. Okay. TTT. Nope. You're correct on that. Nothing the American people say has any influence on anything. Not until enough motherfuckers start making noise and then they have to take notice and do something about it. So, no, electoral college makes sure that the people in Iowa have just as much voice as the people that's over in California and New York, where they've got 3 times as many. They've got cities with 3 times, with twice as the amount of fucking citizens as some states. Completely necessary. Yeah, it's unfortunately I don't understand. Yeah, the THC cartridges were illegal cartridges. I can't read, it's too small. They sent me a thing of juice. I didn't even order a thing of juice. All right. Yeah, it was illegal cartridges that were taken and doing all the lung damage. Exactly. Well, not only that, they found like cobalt and stuff like that in people's lungs. They found cobalt, and one of the things they figured out was that one of the things that those cartridges were made from was cobalt. Let's see. Naked 100, American Patriot. I've never heard of that one. What is the, ooh, tobacco e-juice? Really? It's just tobacco flavor? This incredible tobacco vape juice, the flavor of traditional tobacco cigarettes. Why the fuck would anybody want to take and do that? They normally take and do vaping so they don't have to taste this fucking cigarettes no more. It can taste like a motherfucking cheesecake or, you know, cotton candy if they fucking want it to. God damn. So. It was set up to make sure that it didn't just take a simple majority to take and elect somebody president. But yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna. That dog, she barks at anything, I swear. Why not just smoke versus vaping versus chewing versus outright eating tobacco? Because I don't like to smoke at all. I don't like to smoke. I'm trying to take and get off the dip. I did vape for 2 years. I love it. I could take and get the flavors. I still get my nicotine fix, but it tastes a hell of a lot better than smoking or chewing or dipping or anything. Now see, Jamie, and I'll show you real quick. Now the mod that I just got in is so I can use this again. This was my setup. This right here is a Bonza RDA. And I've had this box. I've had this box for like 5 years. But I can take and use my Bonza RDA. All I got to do is wick it at this point. Take and put some juice on it. Get it fired up. I can start using this again. I got to where I started off on the little spinner things and the little like pen vapes and stuff like that. I moved from that to these RDAs, and the difference in the flavor between that and any kind of tank, like for real, is absolutely phenomenal. Let's see. Come on, open up, damn you. Comes in a purdy box. That looks nice. Exactly. It would take a constitutional amendment. That's I like that. It's a little bit chilly though, that's for sure. You get to see me at least partially set up my setup here live. I have to take and read the instructions now. Yeah, Blake, I would agree with that. I've heard the same thing. Let's see, how do you use this? How do you turn it on? Well, might need to charge my batteries, but oh well. So USB port, up and down. Okay, fire key. How do you turn it on? Side and place battery. Let's see. Connect atomizer. Yeah. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to see if maybe adding this on to it doesn't take and do something. One, two, three, four, five. Make sure the batteries are in there right. All right, so I'm up taking basically charge my batteries. All right, that's cool. I've got a oh nice, it's got a little charging cord with it and everything. My wife says she gives it a week before I say fuck it. As long as as far as battery life, as long as I don't take in like as long as I don't crank the temperature way up and try to vape, you can vape most of the day on it. It's just I like having a nice warm vape. I take and get better so I'm gonna take and charge my batteries. It's either that or I need completely new ones. It's one of the fucking two. It's always something, damn it. But Steven, as far as vape stuff is concerned, like 9 times out of 10, most of them work the same way. You get the fire button, click it 5 times, it cuts on, click it 5 times, it cuts off. Take and hit up and down at the same time. It takes and locks your fire button or locks your up and down button so you don't lose none of your settings. Most of that shit works exactly the same way, and they've done it like that for years. So people, they don't try to reinvent the wheel with it. Let's see. Looks like I might be making me a trip real quick to town to test out some batteries, or to get some new batteries, because these are showing that they're full, but I'm not getting any kind of power from them whatsoever. So something's clearly wrong. Something's clearly not working. So yay, that's not good. This right here is made by Smock. It's the T-Storm. It's 230 watt temperature control mod. The atomizer on top of it is made by Vandy Vape. Or no, Hell Vape. It's one of two, but yeah, it's made by them, and it's I've got two 20 amp LG 20 amp LG 18650s. Yeah, the LG H2s. Basically, these are in the same types of batteries that take and make up battery cells and stuff like that for things. It's lithium ion. Yeah, it's not wanting to do anything. Showing that they're fully charged, but nothing's happening, Captain. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end it here. I'm probably about to run to town. And no, it's not going to be a week before I say fuck it. Might only be 3 days, never know. Just kidding. I'm tired of dipping. I'm really tired of fucking dipping. Let's see. And yes, Jamie, thank you for stopping by. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for stopping by. So I've really enjoyed this. Thank you, everybody. Oh, it was made in China. Trust me. Smock is a Chinese company, but they've got some pretty decent stuff for the most part. So I appreciate everybody stopping by. Like I said, later today it's going to be a top 5 of top 5s, top 5 things across different categories that I like watching on YouTube. I hope y'all have a lovely day. Thanks for stopping in and taking and hanging out with me for a little bit. Really, I greatly appreciate it. Y'all all have a lovely day. Peace.